win is the best hitting team in the ACC average-wise, and their ace. And Corby Otis, she struck out to end the game. Otis continues to be hot for this club, leading things off with the single.
Lies on the drop to multiple levels, not a ton of velocity, but likes to keep the ball down. The defense is alerted to that short game.
To Lotus. Edenfield with the throw down, a perfect throw, but not in time. Corby Otis. And the 2-2 to Lotus now. Chops it up the middle, that'll get the runner over, and she herself is safe. Taryn
to end the game.
Yeah, it was a very nervous moment, and now they have Lotus tied up between first and second, but you have to be careful with Otis. Lotus eventually thrown out at second.
Over at first, Lotus's job is to make sure she gets in the rundown, and as Flaherty gives the ball to first, it gives an opportunity for Otis to come row to first. It gives an opportunity to come around.
And now Roby sends it to the wall, and backed up against it, Waycaser.
You talked about how Taryn Kern for Indiana is a really good freshman. We'll
full count. Seventh pitch of the at-bat results in a strikeout for Dubois. But Corby Otis with the leadoff single. Louisville can come up with 2 wins, winning the last 2 games. Her particulars.
Well, and it's her 32nd appearance, and she has strikeouts in the circle for Louisville. But that one goes away and walks the first batter. Zabala, long-tenured staff that had been there on campus for Louisville.
That is sent the opposite way. Foul ball, Pickle Winkler.
Nye Kerr steps in, 19 hits in her last 8 games. That one will not be a hit. Got to keep these hitters, especially ones like Kaylee Harding, from being able to dig in, and Tiable has been a catcher during her playing career.
Harding beats it on the ground. They try to turn 2, and they do.
Likes it a little bit more inside. We have not seen her with a ton of power going the opposite.
At first, Edenfield hit on the nose, but right at the third baseman, Allie Alexander, just scorching. They had won 9 straight games, and during that stretch, Hess behind 0-2 taps it to Harding, who couldn't handle it. Then it went out into short left field, but Hess is going to stay put. 5 puts Hess on first. That's hit over to Muffley. They get the lead runner. Can't turn 2. 0 for 2 last night in the opener of this game. Edenfield shows off her arm, and it's not stolen a base yet. But yeah, you're right. Flaherty really had to get on her horse to get over there and save the ball. And that is a single in nicknames that we've seen this year. Had a hit yesterday. Got a hold of that one. Sends it into right field. Waycaser makes the death. And what would have been Garrity's first at bat of the game. The 1-0 to Grant. Edenfield again, but this time File takes off and she slides in safely.
Well, Grant has a little.
Sent into left field. It drops in. Louisville plates 2 on the.
Great move by Holly April to come around on that one. And look at this, it's just a gap shot. Mudge able to track it down, but too much speed on the bases. Louisville capitalizes. Great 2/3 of relief. This is her 34th appearance on the season. Really good walk to strike out, to toe touch earlier. Corby Otis sitting at the top of the lineup for Louisville.
Edenfield couldn't grab it. And Garrity goes down to second. Leonard ends it, but with teams like Clemson, Duke, certainly Florida State, and last time they did not make it to a super regional. That's hit and grabbed beautifully by Daisy Hess to rob Leonard of a hit. Was to Virginia. That's it. Waycaser skies it. Glove by Garrity. They played 3 games at Oklahoma State.
Win on the road, but be able to come away with tough games.
And Flaherty with a great at bat just flares one over into left field, and that
He's able to use her speed. Huge
DPing for Florida State. Louisville will be either the 3rd or the 4th, and that is the first strikeout for Zabala. Gets Hartley looking. As Easton Lotus, she was the one who had an infield single and was caught up. Playing in, Hartley able to make the play for the first out.
Does that mean we are top 6? Because we will be covering a lot of that tournament on Thursday.
Taylor Roby got all of it. To the ball, it didn't matter anyway because the ball cleared the fence, but that might they might not let her forget that for a while. But Taylor
The bat, and with that long ball, the backward roll, Kerr knows that one's going to be on a couple highlight reels. Taylor Roby.
As you mentioned, it was a no-doubter. That puppy was leaving the park, and she now has.
Well, it's such an important piece of the puzzle to find.
Strikes out for the 2nd time today. That's the first.
Talking about Kat Sandercock, knowing that Coach Lonnie Alameda for Florida State.
And pitch now to Hess. Fists it to Leonard to end the inning, but Taylor Roby doing ACC tournament, but Florida State at least now can breathe a little bit easier as that bunt was laid down by Ruger, her dog, who they kind of hang out together and kind of gets her centered and chilled, and he's ready for graduation weekend as well. Has been charged to Zabala, the throwing error that allowed Muffley to get over to first on
Season bid, they had 3 errors last night.
Zabala coming back with the strikeout. Has been impressed with Zabala, the way she handles herself, especially as a true freshman. A lot of
Attacking Florida State on the outside part of the plate.
Kerr sends one that's going to go all the way to the wall. Muffley, who runs well, scores all the way.
Muffley able to score all the way from first, but look at how hard she takes off. She knows that with this ball in the gap, she's got an opportunity to score. A little trip around second base, but there.
Kaylee Harding, first pitch swinging, and the aggressive tag by Kerr to get into third base. And you mentioned the average down from back to make it a 2-run ball game and left the bases loaded in the top of the 7th inning.
Area 51 for that spot out there and left where she likes to hit it.
Scooped up by Hess, who gets Edenfield, but the
Who has shown great aggression on the ball up in the zone. File a very good hitter, a good.
the last couple of years. And in fact, in the very first game this year was run into by a base runner, and on the ACC network, NC State and Pitt, they're going to play a doubleheader today.
Advantage with more home runs and Taylor Roby almost doubling that number. No, she's now doubled it, right? With 22.
Ball on the ground this game. And now Pickle Winkler. Snared by Leonard, who takes care of it herself. As Mac Leonard comes up. So team picked Louisville.
Difficult topics and come back stronger the next day.
Ray Kaser flies out to Garrity. Goes up, things like that can take care of themselves.
Yeah, she says she doesn't want to.
Tournament this year, and their resume impressive so far, and that's an impressive inning for Zabala. Just 10 pitches to retire the ACC network in order to qualify for the ACC tournament.
Season for NC State is taking over as an assistant coach.
Pop up, handled, first pitch of the 5th inning. Gets popped up, called by Flaherty for the 2nd out. Had a season-ending knee injury, has been fighting her way back. Sends that into left field. Nice running catch by Mudge, and that is a 6-pitch inning. What a player she was, and a sweetheart of a kid.
Taylor Roby, the ace of the last couple of years, so much needed help. I mean, right here, rolling through these Florida State hitters. And
Hers RBI double back in the 3rd inning. Just 2 hits.
Set, knowing that Taylor Roby was going to need some help this season.
And sent into center field, playable for Otis for the 2nd out. That Zuri, and has been rolling ever since. Mudge grounds out to Leonard. Is a transfer herself. She was terrific at Illinois State, not Washington. Roby had to extend the zone a little bit, lifts one into right field where Waycaser gets the first out. And here now is Sarah Gordon, who struck out twice. 1 pitch thrown out by Muffley, and with Mac Leonard.
Has been aggressive early in this game, coming away with a bunch of.
All 4 runs coming in the first 3, but then Reed came in and shut him down. That's picked off by Hartley. A 9-pitch inning for Leonard. 2020, so there wasn't a champ. Then you had Duke and Clemson coming in. Here's Kerr, who sends one to the wall. She will get into second, and not satisfied, go to her, advancing on the error by Pickle. Winkler out and left.
You can get an out.
1-2, Harding reaches out. That will get the run home. Wide throw, pulls, File off.
It keeps any advancement away from Florida State.
Run in, a runner on, and so Holly April has pulled the starter Zabala. Harding sends it into short center, and it plops right in front of Otis. An 0-2 pitch. And has really upped her numbers. Punches it through the drawn-in infield. And Florida State plates a couple.
Base runners. Florida State puts so much pressure on the defense. This ball looks like it's going to be able to get grabbed. And the chaos ensues.
Uncharacteristically for Florida State. Throw down. It was a great throw, and they got
by Gordon on the money. And
so now Flaherty batting with nobody on base. Has one of 3, which is in the greater Louisville area. Sent skyward towards Otis. Light in the sun with the glasses on. She's listed at 5'5". Got her.
that's it.
Owen, primarily as a pinch hitter. Took it, and that was a strike.
And Louisville now just falling behind last inning.
Did Winkler go? Yes, she did. Mac Leonard just struck out the...
As Mac Leonard entered the circle for Florida State, geared into a game as a defensive replacement. Takes this one right back to Roby. Nice shot, able to get the easy play from Edie Dack. The transfer coming over, back up 3 early in the game before she relieved There you see the strength of Katie Dack. It brings up Kaylee Mudge. Mudge, fly ball to the outfield, reined in by Otis out there in center. Speed, 2 for 3 on the day. Ground ball back up the middle. And over there is short, Daisy Hess. I want to see them on the fence. I want to see them cheering. I want to see the energy out. Garrity at the plate.
That is their first base runner. Since the third, a leadoff single for Corby Otis, their best hitter, tries to get the bunt down.
And it's a foul ball. It was called at the plate.
Yes.
So
4 runs on 6 hits and 1-2. Pounded in over the third. The play is made over at second after the Easton Lotus has one of their hits today. The bunt gets Garrity.
saw how she had to go at her last night with bases loaded.
And I think especially 2 outs, first base open, I think this is a no-brainer, but we have seen a lot of teams go after the 2 away. Otis, the lead run.
Drop ball too high, and we've seen her do it already in this game.
Muffley ends the inning, throwing out Gordon. Harding reached on an error and scored in that throw of errors committed by Louisville in that frame, and that gets through. Good start for the 8th for the Noles.
How does energy translate? And there, Florida State all on the bench. Ooh, but that ball hit softly out to left.
And he's been in the circle and shut down this Louisville.
Leonard's been strong in the circle.
Handled by the second baseman. They're able to turn 2 to end the inning.
4 innings is the longest outing for Leonard.
Hess sends it into left field, drifting back into foul territory, handled last weekend of the regular season. And now Hannah File, who has struck out a couple of times, including the first time she met Leonard. That one, first pitch sent to Taylor Roby, looking on. Walked her.
Up nicely to be able to host the postseason. But Kat Sandercock.
So Holloway hitting for Winkler. First pitch. Flaherty. That's as efficient as it gets. Starts things off. Taylor Roby in the circle. Grabs the first pitch that's hit right back to her. 1 pitch. 1 out. That one is fisted into short right, and a terrific running catch by Lotus. True to 2-out walk. Off the end of the bat, handled by File, who steps on facing Paige Garrity. She is tagged out. ACC Player of the Week this season. 1 pitch, got her. Thrown out by Flaherty.
I'm up and pushing the ball the opposite way.
One, 2. Lotus sends it up in the air where it is tracked all the way by Kerr to retire the Sakupe.
Well, and they're just looking for base runners. We've talked about how chaos.
Regular season championship sewn up. That's a base hit. Good start for the Noles. And that's a slow roller, and you saw Otis
Start off the inning at first.
Janai Kerr sends it deep into center, but not deep enough, right at the Tapped over to short. And it has had trouble getting a hesitation, and you saw that wasn't even close at second. Edenfield popped up, and it is handled at first base. Florida State really struggling. Just 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Mac Leonard does not end it with the nice running catch. They have not scored since the 3rd inning. Roby first pitch swinging. What a play. Flaherty over there at second.
What you have to do as a second baseman is know what pitch is coming. That helps you anticipate, and you can.
Which for Florida State is an eternity. Gordon off the end of the bat. Flaherty looking like JDH out there, Jenny Dalton Hill.
Well, and perhaps the piece of Catherine Sandercock that I'm most impressed by is her.
Got her. That's the first strikeout for Sandercock.
Huge pitch.
Game. She was 6 for 8. Inside, walked her. That's second straight inning. And that Louisville with 3 errors on the day. It's Flair. Hit solidly into center field, to the wall, and gone! With the walk-off home run, ends the game of the year for Florida State.
He had not hit a home run this year, had 6 home runs last year, and Florida State able to walk it off with a 2-run shot in the 11th.
Van Ward, as we say so long from the Haskell.